has been preaching Krishna consciousness since 1973. As an initiating spiritual master in ISKCON, he serves on the GBC and travels extensively to preach in countries like India, Russia, and here in South Africa. He is also an accomplished author, photographer, and filmmaker. One of his notable activities is documenting his pilgrimage tours in the holy land of Vrindavan, where devotees can immerse themselves in devotional activities and deepen their connection to Krishna. A humble request to please switch off cell phones. Hare Krishna. A humble request. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, a humble request to please switch off cell phones or turn them to silent mode. And if we could please have some silence, as I'm now going to hand you over to His Holiness Bhakti Caitanya Swami Maharaj. Let's give Maharaj another round of applause.
Oh, we will do microphone prayers. Oh. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Yes, you might wonder, why am I calling out Hare Krishna when it's Radhashtami, it's Radharani's festival. And here I am glorifying Krishna. But you know, the thing is that Hare Krishna, Krishna name, Krishna of course is Krishna, but Hare is Radharani. When we call out Hare Krishna, then we're actually calling out, you can say, Radha Krishna. And it's more than just Radha Krishna. Radhe, you know, the usual form is Radha, of course. We all know that. But now we're saying Hare. The usual form is Hara. But we're saying Hare. Usual form with Radharani is Radha, but we say Radhe, because this is in the vocative state case. Vocative case means the address. We're addressing her. It's not just like glorification, like, well, just glorifying. But we're specifically appealing. When we chant Hare Krishna, we're specifically appealing to Srimati Radharani, Hare. And what appeal are we making? We're making the appeal that, oh dear Srimati Radharani, please bring us closer to you by engaging us in your service, by engaging us in the service of Lord Krishna. So Hare, you know, it's different from if you just say, Jai Sri Krishna. That's nice, it's grace. Then you're just saying, glories to Krishna. It's a general glorification. But here now, Hare, it's an appeal for mercy, from Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna. Okay. Now, of course, I cannot compete with Madhava Prabhu. Anyway, wherever he is, I can't compete with him, and I'm not going to try. But still, we must sing something in glorification of Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna. So here we go. Hopefully you know this song. I know many of you will, some of you might not, but it's simple, so you can just, sort of catch the words and remember them. Here we go. Jaya Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jaya Vrindavana, Shri Govinda Gopinatha, Madana Mohan, Jaya Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jaya Vrindavana, Shri Govinda Gopinatha, Madana Mohan. Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Jaya Radhe Jai Krishna, Jaya Vrindavana, Shri Govinda Gopinatha, Madana Mohan. Jai Krishna. Jaya Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jaya Vrindavana, Shri Govinda Gopinatha, Madana Mohan. Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan. Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan. Giri Govardhan. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha, Radhanatha, Radha, Radhanatha, Radhe. Jai Radha, Radhanatha, Radha, Radhanatha, Radhe. Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe. Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Vishnuvad Paramahansa Parivrajakcharis Tadasismad. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON's founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Ki. Shri Giri Govardhan Ki. Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu Ki. Shri Radhashtami Mahotsava Ki. Shri Radhashtami Mahotsava Ki. Shri Radhashtami Mahotsava Ki. Srimati Radha Rani Ki. Srimati Radha Rani Ki. Srimati Radha Rani Ki. Go Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Please make yourselves as comfortable as you're able. I realize it's a little crowded, but close association with devotees is very good. And just over on this side, we have some beautiful, look at this, beautiful soft marble. And there's just nobody there. And you could be right in front of the deities. Wow, don't miss out. Anyway, I'm just suggesting some of you might like to come and sit in the front because I see we're a little congested out by the doors there. If you want to come here, just come around the back. And look, there's tons of space. There's too much space. It's terrible. I know what we should. We should sell seating. Yes, that's what we should do. If you want a luxury plastic chair, then you pay, whatever, something anyway. Anyway, if you're okay standing back there, that's okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So devotees, well, thank you all for coming. It looks like the weekend here, but it's not, is it? It's Wednesday. Thank you for taking the time out. Well done. You will get blessings. You will get blessings. Yeah, from Srimati Radharani. So, right. I want to begin by telling you a story. It's a very nice story. Perhaps quite a number of you may not be familiar with it. Some of you, I assume, would be familiar with it. This is a story about one great devotee, very great devotee named Jayadev Goswami. And he was living about 1,000 years ago, or thereabouts, well before Lord Caitanya. Jayadev, he lived in different places, but he was living in the Mayapur area, Navadvip area, the area where Lord Caitanya appeared and had his earlier pastimes, like youthful pastimes. Yes, so it's a very important and very sacred area. And this Jayadev was living there with his wife. Although he's addressed as Jayadev Goswami, it's interesting. Yes, and Jayadev, he was a great writer. Particularly, he wrote many songs. A song that some of you may have heard of, which is very famous, is Gita Govinda, which is sung to Lord Jagannath in the Jagannath temple on certain occasions. And would you believe, Jagannath has one outfit, full outfit of clothes, which has written on it the words of Gita Govinda, like the lyrics, you could say. Beautiful devotional song. And better known to so many of us, maybe all of us, is, we sing at the end of Arti. I assume later on, in an hour or whatever it may be, in a while, after the Arti, we may sing the prayers to Lord Nrsingadev, Namaste Narasimhaya, those prayers. And then the second part is a verse of the song, Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam. Many of you are familiar with that. It is a verse, which starts Tavakara Kamalavare. It's a verse from a song by Jayadev, and we sing it every day. Generally at the end of every formal arti performed on the altar in all of our temples around the world. We have so many temples, and there are temples opening almost, not quite every day, but at least definitely every week. We have lost count. We don't even really know how many temples we have. We're not so strong on administration, actually. But preaching and giving people Krishna consciousness, at least we do better with that. Right, so yeah, everywhere that verse, which is a verse to Lord Nrsingadev, that verse is sung after basically every single arti performed on the altar in every ISKCON temple on this planet. And I heard that NASA, the Americans, are still trying to go to the moon. And did I read that the Indians, or is it maybe the Chinese, want to go to Mars? Anyway, if they do go to the moon and establish something there, We have some devotees ready to go. Yeah. To establish the first temple on the moon. And then we'll sing that verse on the moon. And, everything else we do. So, okay. So this particular pastime, it's really interesting. And it's very important, actually, because through this story, we can appreciate, at least we can get some appreciation for Lord Krishna's feelings for Srimati Radharani, how deep his affection is for her, how seriously he takes her. It's really quite something, to say the least. Yes, so what happened was Jayadev was living there. For those of you who might be a little familiar with the Navadvip Mayapur area, he was living actually in Champahati, across the river from Mayapur and down a few kilometers. So anyway, he was living there with his wife, Padmavati, and he was writing. He was writing songs. And he, somehow or other, he got into this mood of glorifying Srimati Radharani, and some words which he wrote down just sort of poured out of his heart, out of his mouth and his hand, and he wrote them down practically without thinking about it. So he thought, when he then stepped back or sat back and just looked at the verse he read, glorifying Radharani, he thought, wait a minute, I have gone too far in expressing, I don't know where the idea came from, but some feelings of Krishna for Radharani. I think I have overdone it. I have speculated, but I think it may not be like what I've written. So, this is not good what I've done. So what he wrote was, Smaragarala Kandanam, Mama Shirasi Mandanam, Dehi Padapalavam Udaram. Which means, now this is Krishna. He has expressed himself as he feels Krishna would express himself. But like I said, on reflection he feels, well, I've overdone it. But what this means is, the beautiful flower blossoms of your lotus feet counteract the deadly poison of amorous love. They extinguish the terrifying fire of the pain of that love which rages within my heart. Therefore, please be kind and allow your feet to decorate my head. You get that? Sure, that's deep, isn't it? That is really, but really deep. So this is Krishna. That's the intention, at least, of the author. Krishna expressing his feelings to Radharani about her. And the last little bit was, please be kind and allow your lotus feet to decorate my head. So Krishna, the Supreme Lord, according to this, is asking Radharani, please place your lotus feet on my head. Give me the dust from your lotus feet on my head. But generally, it's usually the other way around. The devotees are appealing to Krishna that you please put your feet on my head. Give me some dust from your feet, please, from your lotus feet. Not the other way around, that Krishna's appealing to the devotee. Can you imagine if Krishna walked up to you and said that? Do you mind putting your feet on my head, please? I mean, any sort of devotee who's in the right state of mind would be shocked. Who, me? Me? You're joking. So actually that's what happened with Jayadev when he just sat back, because it just came out just like that. And he just wrote it just like that without really thinking. It's not that he sat down and he thought, what should I say? What word should I use? And, how to make it rhyme, and, like kind of clinical approach to poetry or songwriting. It just came out, and there it was. And he sat back and he looked at it, and he thought, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How could he become subordinate to a devotee? It's not possible. So he thought to himself, how can I commit such an idea to writing? How can I have the audacity to put such a thing in black and white? It's an offense. So what he did, he removed that verse, the whole verse. He just removed it. And in those days, they didn't have computers. You couldn't just backspace, or telephones. You can basically do the same thing. They didn't even have, if you're a bit older, Tipex. You put some of this white stuff over what you wrote, type over it again. And they didn't even have rubbers to rub it out. So you know what he did? And they didn't even have paper, for that matter, to write it on. He wrote it on tree bark. And there's all sorts of trees. They would use the bark of trees which had kind of thick bark, like at least 0.5 centimeter thick, or even a little more, but at least 0.5 centimeter. So what he did, he took a blade, some sort of blade, and he literally cut that verse out physically with the underlying, the piece of bark, and disposed of it. And then now he's got a sort of an empty space there where he's been writing. But anyway, he decided, look, it's about midday now. Let me go down to the Ganges, take bath, and think about it, and then I'll come back, I'll have lunch, and then I'll get back into it, and I'll write something more appropriate. So that's what he thought, because Champahati is close to the Ganges. It's about a 10-minute walk, or maximum 15 minutes, something like that. So he told his wife, okay, I'm going to go down and take my midday bath, and I'll be back in, say, half an hour roughly, something like that, and please have lunch ready. And his wife, Padmavati, said, yes, of course. In fact, it's almost ready right now. It's practically ready, but I'll keep it nice for you to have it in half an hour. So off he went with his gamsha and so on to take bath in the Ganges. But devotees, you know what happened? About 5, maybe 10 minutes later, Jayadev returned. Now, it's not possible, even if you run fast, it's not possible to run down to the Ganges, take a bath, and run back and be back in 5 minutes. It's not possible. And he came in, and he's completely dry. Jayadev had long hair. And ladies, at least, you know what it's like. It takes time to dry your long hair. Yeah. So, but his hair was completely dry. So obviously he had not been to the river, he had not taken a bath, but now here he is coming back. And so Jayadev said to Padmavati, you know, there's this verse that was troubling me, and you know, I've been thinking about it, and I'm going to just, where I cut it out, I'm going to write something which I feel is just really suitable, appropriate in that place. So he sat down with that piece of tree bark in front of him, where he had physically cut out and physically removed that verse he had written, which we read. He wrote something. And then he said, okay, I'm going to go now and I'll take bath now. Now, devotees, you're all sitting down, that's good. Fasten your seatbelts, open your ears, and get this. So now, Padmavati, lunch is ready actually. And as far as she's concerned, her husband has had lunch, because he sat down and he took lunch, and off he went to have an after-lunch bath. So, you know, as is the tradition, the ladies would cook and then serve the family, all the family members. In this case, it was just the husband. Serve the husband the prasadam, and then when the husband's finished, then the lady would take prasadam. This is what they would do. So now she's sitting there having lunch. And devotees, guess what happened? She's just started to take lunch. She's had a few, mouthfuls, and this is like 10 minutes after Jayadev finished lunch and went off to the river again. Are you with me? The chronology of it. Right. 5 or 10 minutes later, there she is. She's just started having lunch, and in comes Jayadev with wet hair. So what did he do? Did he sprint in world record time? You know, what was the name of that man from Jamaica? I forget his name, but Bolt, that's the one. Sorry, I'm not up with these things. Did he do something like that and just race back and just break the world record? Not really. It's just not going to happen. And there's Jayadev walks in with wet hair and a wet towel, and he has actually had a bath in the Ganges. And there's Padmavati eating, and Jayadev, seeing her eating, you know what he did? He got angry with her. What are you doing eating before me? You know what the duties of a wife are. You have to wait till the husband's eaten, and then you eat. So what are you doing eating? And Padmavati just doesn't know what is what. She says, but you just came back. You didn't take bath. You came back just 5 minutes after you left. You hadn't taken bath. You told me you had to write something. You thought of something nice to write in where you had removed that piece, which you didn't like, and you sat down and you wrote it, and then you took lunch, and then you went to take bath 5 minutes ago. So I'm just sitting down, starting to take lunch. Are you confused, devotees? So, well, Jayadev was confused, and Padmavati. Then Jayadev looked at that page or piece of bark, and what did he see, devotees, which was written there? Smaragarala Kandanam, Mama Shirasi Mandanam, Dehi Padapalavam Udaram. I don't know if you can remember it. Can you remember it? It's the same verse. It's just the same verse, which, whoever it was who looked just like Jayadev and acted just like him had written it in a few minutes before. The beautiful flower blossoms of your lotus feet counteract the deadly poison of amorous love. They extinguish the terrifying fire of the pain of that love which rages within my heart. Therefore, please be kind and allow your lotus feet to decorate my head. So now here is Jayadev looking at this verse. And of course he recognizes it. This is just what I just wrote, but I rejected, and I got upset with myself. How could I be so pretentious as to write something like that? So, but what happened? Who was it? How could it have happened? And then he understood. What did he understand? That so-called Jayadev, which came back in the meantime, and then wrote, what he said he felt was nice, and then had lunch. It was Krishna. It was actually Krishna himself. And my wife is such a nice devotee, such a good devotee, such a sincere devotee, that Krishna, even though he's in disguise, Krishna came and spoke with her and interacted with her. Not with me. Yeah. So you know what he did? With tears flowing from his eyes, he went to his wife, Padmavati, and offered her his obeisances. He bowed down at her feet. You're such a devotee. You're more than me. Krishna has appeared to you like that. So this is very nice. It's very nice because, for us, we're devotees, or we're trying to be or trying to become devotees or trying to become better devotees, something along those lines. And we need to grasp what is the situation on the transcendental level, at least to grasp to some degree what goes on between Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani. It's certainly not just some version of boy-girl. It's not even like just a nice sort of more pure version of boy-girl. But this is extremely deep. The relationship is extremely deep. And as Radharani is extremely appreciative of Lord Krishna and completely dedicated to serving him and pleasing him and doing whatever may make him happy, then, in fact, Radharani said one time, if my suffering makes Krishna happy, then my suffering becomes my greatest happiness. It doesn't make sense, but that's the sense. Yeah. So the relationship is very deep, and it's very extremely elevated, not to be underestimated, and we should not think in like ordinary terms about the relationship between Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani. So actually Krishna feels like that. He worships his devotees. Particularly he worships Srimati Radharani. He worships. but actually he worships all his devotees. You know, there is a controversy in the circles of worshippers of Lord Ram, Lord Ramachandra. Well, there's a number of controversies actually, but in this regard there's a controversy. First of all, did Lord Ram worship Lord Shiva before going across to Lanka, or did he not? Different versions, because there are different versions of Valmiki Ramayan, which is the main Ram Leela. There are even different versions of Ramcharitamanas, of Tulsidas. And some versions say he did, some versions say, well, they don't say he did, they just don't mention it. In other words, it appears that he didn't do it according to them. Yeah, worship Lord Shiva. And some people who advocate that, yes, Ram worshipped Lord Shiva, and that means, what does that mean? They feel that Lord Shiva is higher than Lord Ram, because Lord Ram worshipped Lord Shiva. But actually the Lord worships his devotees. The Lord worships his devotees, and particularly worships Srimati Radharani. And he feels himself blessed to get some dust from the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani on his head. You know, there's a story, a little story. Looks like we're in storytelling mood. There's a story about Srila Prabhupada, actually, that when Prabhupada was in Calcutta with a group of his earlier disciples, this is like 1970, 1971 maybe. I don't know if any of you were there, have been there at that time. And the place which in fact we ended up buying, we were renting half of it, but now we own the whole thing, in what's called Albert Road in Calcutta. The landlord, he was a bit of a devotee, he was a devotee. He was a devotee. And he was a devotee of Lord Caitanya. And so he had the idea, well, he knew that Lord Caitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nahe Anya. Lord Chaitanya is Nahe Anya, none other than the combined form of Radha and Krishna. So this gentleman, he knew that. So he was trying to convince one of our, in those days, all of our devotees were young. Even the most senior devotee in ISKCON, other than Prabhupada, had been a devotee maximum 4 years or 5 years. That means like so many of you would be really senior devotees. Well, many of you are actually. So this young man, he didn't know what to do. The fellow said to him, Lord Chaitanya is like Rasgula. Are you familiar with Rasgula? Don't worry, prasadam will be shortly. Lord Chaitanya is like Rasgula, and Radha and Krishna are like sugar and milk, which is what Rasgula is. Once you've, cooked it, it's basically sugar and milk. So he said, what is better? What is better? sugar and milk or rasgulla? Yes. So the devotee didn't know what to say, so he went back to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, you know, it's the wrong question. Sometimes devotees, people ask the wrong question. Like I was asked not long ago, which of the 4 modes of material nature is superior? Do you get it? I've been asked, what is the 13th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam about? So Prabhupada said, this is the wrong question. And, you know, so who is more worshipable? The milk and the sugar or Lord Caitanya? And Prabhupada said, well, obviously, the milk and the sugar come first. Obviously, they come first. So they're more important. Without the milk and sugar, you're not going to get rasgulla. So don't underestimate the milk and sugar. And then Prabhupada, there was a picture on Prabhupada's wall, like this one you see here above the altar, the big picture. There's Radha and Krishna. And what's happening? Lord Krishna is making a garland for Radharani. Yes. Lord Krishna is making a garland for Radharani. Because Lord Krishna, as the devotees see Krishna as the worshipable object, Krishna sees his devotees as worshipable objects. But there are devotees and devotees, so to speak. The topmost devotee, of course, is Radharani. So don't hold your breath. I don't expect Krishna's going to make a garland for one of us in the near future. If we can just get Maha garlands, sure, that'll be good. So Prabhupada said, yes, he pointed to the picture to Radharani. And he said, yes, Radharani is the best. She is the best. Because Krishna, the Supreme Lord, the cause of all causes, most worshipable personality in one sense, he's a servant of Radharani. And then Prabhupada said, actually, all the devotees are the best, because Krishna serves all the devotees. Now, you know, Krishna was here 5,000 years ago, or thereabouts. Some people stress about when was it exactly. And I just read a few days ago, some scientific devotees did a calculation according to the positions of the planets, because the planet, according to the Bhagavatam, the planet Rohini was in, or the constellation, whatever it is, was in a certain formation right when Krishna appeared. So just like they can predict now when eclipses are going to be, even 10 years in the future, so they sort of, not entirely, but sort of know what positions the planets were at certain times, even thousands of years ago. So they calculated 3,268 BC. Haribol. Okay. But, you know, Prabhupada would always say about 5,000 years. And so we stick to that. But anyway, Krishna was here 5,000 years ago or so, and performing his pastimes, all these pastimes you see on the roof and above the windows. And then he returned to Goloka Vrindavan. And Krishna, back in Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna was thinking, he was remembering, when I was there on planet Earth with my devotees, and they were serving me in so many ways, I was so happy. I was so happy being served by all of my devotees. But then suddenly, Krishna, an idea struck Krishna, really struck him, that actually, it's a fact, I was getting so much pleasure from being served by my devotees, but it seems to me my devotees were getting more pleasure from serving me than I was getting from being served by them. So Krishna just went deep into thought, just deep into thought, thinking about different devotees and how much more than him they were enjoying through serving him than even he was enjoying. And so some devotee, he realized, wow, this devotee was enjoying twice as much as me. That's a lot, isn't it? Twice as much. And another devotee, this devotee was enjoying 5 times as much, whoa, by serving me than I was by being served by that devotee. And another one, 10 times. And another 20 times, 50 times, 100 times. Poor old Krishna. His mind, his head was spinning, really spinning. Then he started thinking about the gopis. And a particular gopi was enjoying 100 times more than him. Another one, 200 times. Another one, 500 times. Another one, 1,000 times. Isn't it completely inconceivable? It's completely inconceivable, but, we can get a hint. 1,000 times. And then he thought of some of the very close gopis, some of the manjaris, some of the astasakis, 5,000 times. Then he thought of Srimati Radharani, and he had to really think. And when he did, he realized she was enjoying 10,000 times more than me by serving me than I was enjoying by being served by her. And this was such an overwhelming experience for Krishna that Krishna thought, I have had enough of being God. I'm going to become a devotee. Oh, this God stuff, Someone else, let Lord Narayan deal with it. And so then he appeared as Lord Caitanya, who is Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahe Anya, none other than the combined form of Radha and Krishna. But in the combination, what color is Lord Chaitanya? He's gold. What color is Radharani? She's gold. What is the mood of Lord Chaitanya? Devotional, devotee mood. Obviously, that's the mood of Radharani. So in Lord Chaitanya, actually, both are present. Radharani, Lord Krishna, they're both there completely. But actually, the presence of Srimati Radharani is much more prominent. That's why he's the same color. That's why he's got the same mood. Because Radharani's presence is much more prominent in Lord Chaitanya. So anyway, Krishna, from Chaitanya Charitamrita, we can understand, we get information how Krishna was feeling. He wasn't just feeling that, oh, she enjoyed more than me. I want to get that enjoyment. I want to enjoy more. No, it was much deeper than that. So we find there's a verse. If you have Prabhupada's books on your telephone, and if you don't, well, at least I know for a fact if you have an iPhone, as I do, you can get Prabhupada's books and lectures, etc., etc., everything for free on your iPhone, maybe on your Android. Anyway, you just speak to the Android people about that. Are we promoting Apple? Are they paying us something? So he thought, and like this is from Caitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, the very first part, chapter 1, verse 6. It explains the sort of the mystery of the mentality of Lord Krishna in considering how he wanted to appear as a devotee, not just as a devotee, but as a devotee in the mood of Radharani. So the verses, Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima, Kidrisho Vanayaiva, Swadyo Yenad Bhuta Madhuri Ma, Kidrisho Ya Madhya, Sankyam Chasya Mad Anubhavata, Kidrisham Veti Lobat, Tad Bhavadya Samajani Sachi Garba Sindo Harindu, which means desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love. The Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi as the moon appeared from the ocean. So yes, so three things. Try and memorize it or note it down or whatever. Krishna wants to understand what is the love of Radharani. Like, what is the extent of it? What is the character of it? All the sort of embellishments of her feelings for me. He's wondering. And he's wondering, what is it in me which makes her love me like that? Yeah. Because Krishna is a humble person. Krishna doesn't just go around saying, listen, I'm God, you should love me if you know what's good for you. Like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Yoginam api sarvesham, of all the yogis, basically the devotees are the topmost of all yogis. And then he says, Same yuktatamo mataha. Mataha means opinion. That is my opinion. He doesn't just say, I'm telling you this, okay? Got it. Got it. She's got it. Yeah. No, he says, well, that's my opinion. And later on, you may know, Krishna, right at the end, it's just, I don't know, about 20 verses before the end, or maybe a little less, Krishna says to Arjuna that, well, now I've explained all these things to you, now you can do what you like. He doesn't say, now I've explained all these things to you, you better start doing what I told you. Got it? Like now. No, he says, you can do what you like. And there was an incident with Prabhupada. One man in Bombay in those days came to Prabhupada like a businessman, pious, nice man. And he said, Swamiji, I am liking Bhagavad Gita too much. In my experience, it's only Gujaratis who sometimes say they like something too much. Have you heard that? you're Gujarati. I used to live with Gujaratis. And anything that was really good was just too good. We like it too much. So yeah, I'm liking Bhagavad Gita too much. And then he said, and especially that part where Krishna says, "Hey Arjuna, now you've heard what I've said, now you just do whatever you like." Yeah, just go and lie down on the beach if you want, or go buy an ice cream or something. Yeah, just do whatever you like. But it's Krishna. He's a person. And he's not just, someone who's full of themselves and thinks they're, big authority, and I'm doing people a favor by ordering them around. So yeah, Krishna was thinking, why me? What is it about me? Yeah. I read something a few months ago. Some of these very famous people, like entertainers and people like that, they really don't understand why they're so popular. Because they just can't see it from outside. Anyway, Krishna, that's Krishna. He's a person. He's a real person. So Krishna wanted to understand, what is it about me which stimulates her to love me in this most extreme way which I cannot conceive of myself? And what happiness does she feel when she understands how much I love her? The sweetness of my love for her. So Krishna became captivated by that, completely captivated. And devotees and friends, this is discussed, the intricacies of each of these three. The glory of her love, his qualities which stimulate her love, and the happiness she feels when she understands how much he loves her. It's analyzed very, very deeply in the 4th chapter of the Adi Leela of Caitanya Charitamrita. And the glory of Radharani's love, it's presented actually more in a broader sense of like the gopis' love. But the gopis, as we were discussing this morning, the gopis, who are the gopis? At least the vast majority are little parts of Radharani. They're just little parts. She's expanded into these little girls. So they're little sort of fractions of her, you could say. Yeah. So in the end, Krishna, considering all these things and how much they love him, what they do for him, and how there's nothing they will not do for him, and, in extreme detail, Krishna in the Bhagavatam tells the gopis that, well, first of all, he references Bhagavad Gita chapter 4. What is it? Is it verse 10? Yayatamam prapajante. Verse 10? 11. 11, he says 11. Okay. Yeah, yayatamam prapajante tams tataiva bhajamyaham. Krishna says, in whatever way my devotee or anyone approaches me, I reward them accordingly. I reciprocate accordingly. Yeah. So, but he says to the gopis, well, the Caitanya Charitamrita, the author says, that promise of Lord Krishna has been broken. He broke his promise because of the worship of the gopis. And Krishna admitted that, I say that, they were, you worship me, he worships me, she worships me. So many people worship me. I reciprocate accordingly, like proportionately, you could say, as is suitable, depending on the degree of love, the type of love of the devotee. I reciprocate accordingly. So that's a promise. Krishna's promising. You surrender, particularly devotees, you surrender to me, I'll reciprocate appropriately. But Krishna himself with the gopis, and it means Radharani particularly, Krishna said, O gopis, I'm not able to repay my debt for your spotless service. Even within a lifetime of Brahma, your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties which are difficult to break. Therefore, please, let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. Yes. So Krishna feels, Krishna always appreciates the service of devotees, even people like us. Even people like us who may sometimes fall asleep when the Krishna's being glorified. It's funny, isn't it? It's stupid, actually. Don't think it doesn't happen. There was one class once, devotees had been up all night, like literally the entire night, because Prabhupada was arriving the next morning there to fix up the temple. Back in the good old days when Prabhupada would come, would mean the whole temple would be repainted and all the curtains would be replaced. Yeah, anyway, so they were up all night doing things like that, literally the whole night. And Prabhupada arrived early in the morning, so they couldn't sleep. And now Prabhupada's here. Prabhupada didn't give class in the morning, but he said you should have a class, Srimad Bhagavatam class. So they had a Bhagavatam class. Every single devotee fell asleep, including the devotee giving class. Yes. Right. So Krishna appreciates all the efforts that even, so to speak, the small devotees make, whoever that may be. Jiva Goswami quotes Lord Krishna saying that even though I am as deep as an unlimited ocean, I never forget even the smallest drop of service. Even if it's just one service that one person does in their life. So, yes, so it's like that. Krishna appreciates. But when it comes to a devotee like Srimati Radharani, and the gopis who are like little Srimati Radharanis in a certain sense, philosophical sense. Yeah, they serve him so wholeheartedly. We may feel that we know what wholehearted is like, but not in those terms. We can't really fathom it. So they were serving Krishna so wholeheartedly in a mood of extreme affection, love, and without the very slightest bit of any concern, what am I going to get out of it? Like if I chant 16 rounds, what's Krishna going to give me? And if I chant 17, is he going to give me a bit more? Come on, Krishna. You say you reciprocate. But he tells the gopis, he's telling Radharani, I'm unable to reciprocate. So what to do? What to do? Just carry on, that's all. There's nothing else. I can't say anything else. Just carry on. Because, as we mentioned, they are getting so much enjoyment from doing that service. So therefore in Caitanya Charitamrita, the author points out different things about Srimati Radharani. That he says, using just the term gopis, like it's the whole group, but it's particularly Radharani, that whatever affection the gopis show for their bodies, we must know for certain it's only for the sake of Lord Krishna. You know, there is a caricature amongst some men. Maybe I should just keep it to the men and you ladies shouldn't listen. But that ladies, when they're going out to some event with their husband or their partner, they spend a long time in front of the mirror sorting themselves out. This we have heard. You say no. Okay. Well, that's good. Well done. But the gopis, they spend hours and hours in front of the mirror, decorating this and adjusting that. And you know, right, ladies, all that stuff, and then redoing it and asking each other, you know, does it look better like this? Or, you know, oh, okay, I'll redo it again, etc. And they only come out when they know Krishna's waiting. You know, we got to get there now. And then they stop. And therefore Bhagavatam describes that oftentimes when they go out, when they know Krishna is actually waiting and we've got to go now, so they just run out in whatever state they're in. And what to speak of having kajal over one eye, but not the other eye, that sort of thing, which is, you know, pretty extraordinary. But they go, don't take this the wrong way, but some of them have the upper part of their clothing on the lower part of their body, and vice versa. Can you imagine? I mean, it's pretty weird, isn't it? It's pretty extreme. But they just do it because they know Krishna's waiting. We have to go. And that's it. Now Krishna's waiting. Okay, we have to go. Or as we say in South Africa, now. We have to go now. Means, you know, we got to go in a while. 15 minutes maybe. We got to go now. Oh, means, oh, we've got to go just in 5 minutes, I say. And we got to go now means we've got to go now. So yeah, that's it. That's what the Bhagavatam says. It's extreme. It's really extreme. But it's a manifestation of their love for Krishna. They will not keep him waiting, you know, as some women supposedly may keep their husband or whoever waiting. Yeah, you didn't mind me. Did you mind me saying that, ladies? Please don't mind too much. You can blame Srimad Bhagavatam. So they think, yeah. So whatever affection, whatever interest they have in their bodies and how they look, do I look okay? How could I look better? These types of ideas. The author says, know it for certain to be only for the sake of Lord Krishna. So they think, Radharani thinks, I have offered this body to Lord Krishna. He is its owner, and it brings him enjoyment. Yes. Krishna finds joy in seeing and touching my body, which is there. It's there in their relationships. And it is for this reason that they cleanse and decorate their bodies. not for just some personal thing, I want to look my best sort of thing. Yeah. So Krishna is quoted speaking to Arjuna, not Bhagavad Gita, but there are other places where they discuss things. Oh Arjuna, there are no greater receptacles of deep love for me than the gopis, who cleanse and decorate their bodies because they consider them mine. And then he says, the author, there is another wonderful feature of the emotion of the gopis. Its power is beyond the comprehension of the intelligence. So don't try and figure it out. Just try and soak it in, Just try and take it and let it go to your heart. Yes. When the gopis see Lord Krishna, they derive unbounded bliss, although they have no desire for such pleasure. Yes. They have no inclination for their own enjoyment, but their enjoyment increases. Yes. And the author says, that is indeed a contradiction. Wonderful, transcendental contradiction. For this contradiction, I see only one solution. The joy of the gopis lies in the joy of their beloved Krishna. Because, going into it a little deeper, when Lord Krishna sees the gopis, means particularly Radharani, but all the gopis, his joy increases and his unparalleled sweetness increases also. Just like, when someone's happy, they look nicer than when they're, depressed. Depression, I hate life. They don't look nice. But when they're happy, they look good. So, yeah. Yes. So the thing is, the gopis come before Krishna. Radharani comes before Krishna, having, prepared herself in whatever way, but with full love and devotion, trying to do the best possible. And this makes Krishna happy. And they look at Krishna and they see, he's looking at me. It has made him happy. And what does that do to them? Tell me. It makes them happy. You get the idea? So there's this exchange. Krishna sees them looking so nice because they want to please him, and he becomes happy. And they see, Krishna's happy from seeing me. So that makes them more happy, which makes them more beautiful. And then Krishna sees the increase of their beauty. He becomes more happy and more attractive. And they become more happy and more attractive. And Krishna sees that and becomes more happy and more attractive. You get the idea? We could go on 100 stages for half an hour or so. So therefore, Caitanya Charitamrita says there is a competition. There's a competition between the gopis, between Srimati Radharani and Krishna, to see who's going to be the most beautiful, or who's going to please the other the most, and who's going to be most pleased. It's a competition, but it's one of these competitions which never ends. There's no end. It never started. It's always been, and it's continuing today, on the 11th of September 2024 at South African time. Exactly 1 o'clock. The competition is still on. And the degree of beauty which is manifest in both cases, Krishna and Radharani and the gopis, has increased so much even from before. Are you with me? Krishna has obtained so much pleasure by seeing me. That thought increases the fullness and beauty of their faces and bodies. The beauty of Lord Krishna increases at the sight of the beauty of the gopis, and the more the gopis see Lord Krishna's beauty, the more their beauty increases. In this way, a competition takes place between them in which no one acknowledges defeat. But the basic idea is Krishna is pleased with the gopis, and when the gopis see his pleasure, their pleasure increases. So I think you get the idea, devotees. Nobody told me, or maybe you can. What time should I start? We're going to have kirtan, isn't it? Huh? Yeah. Okay. Who's going to lead kirtan? Somebody. Not me. Huh? Oh, Ravindra. Oh, is it? Okay. Okay, devotees. So, the bad news is, or maybe good news, that I have to stop. I have been ordered by the higher ups to stop. And we're going to have kirtan led by Mataji Anasuya. Huh? Yes? He says yes, so right. And prasad will be served in due course. Huh? After the 1:30. That's the good news. Okay. Okay. Srimati Radharani ke. Sri Radhashtami Mahotsava ke. Srila Prabhupada ke. Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Prastyatyadeshatarine
Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Go Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga 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 Gauranga
Gauranga Gauranga Gauranga Gauranga
Gauranga Gauranga Gauranga Gauranga
Gauranga Gauranga Gauranga
Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari
Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari
Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari
Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari
Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
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 Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram
Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram
Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Radhe Shyam Bolo Radhe Shyam
Radhe Shyam Jaya Radhe Shyam
Radhe Shyam Bolo Radhe Shyam
Radhe Shyam Jaya Radhe Shyam
Vrindavan Dham Bolo Vrindavan Dham Vrindavan Dham Bolo Vrindavan Dham
Vrindavan Dham Jaya Vrindavan Dham
Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham
Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham
Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham
Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham
Pavan Radhe Tero Naam Pavan Shri Vrindavan Dham
Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham
Pavan Radhe Tero Naam Pavan Shri Vrindavan Dham
Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Jai Jai Shri
Pavan Radhe Tero Naam Pavan Shri Vrindavan Dham
Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham
Ram Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham
Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham
Ram Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham
Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
He Govinda He Gopal Keshava Madhava Dina Dayal
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 Dina Dayal Prabhu Dina Dayal Dina Dayal Prabhu Dina Dayal
Dina Dayal Dina Dayal Dina Dayal Prabhu Dina Dayal
Dina Dayal Prabhu Dina Dayal Dina Dayal Prabhu Dina Dayal
Dina Dayal Dina Dayal Dina Dayal Prabhu Dina Dayal
Sham Sundar Kanyalar Girivaradhari Nanda Dula
Sundar Kanayalal
Sham Sundar Kanyalar Girivaradhari Nanda Dula
Shama Sundar Kanayalal Nanda Dula
Nanda Dulal Prabhu Nanda Dulal Nanda Dulal Prabhu Nanda Dulal
Nanda Dulal Nanda Dulal Nanda Dulal Prabhu Nanda Dulal
Nanda Dulal Prabhu Nanda Dulal Nanda Dulal Prabhu Nanda Dulal
Nanda Dulal Nanda Dulal Nanda Dulal Prabhu Nanda Dulal
He Govinda He Gopal Keshava Madhava Dina Dayal
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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Namaste Narasimhaya
Namaste Narasimhaya
Namaste Narasimhaya
Namaste Narasimhaya
Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha
Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha
Shilatankanakalaye
Shilatankanakalaye
Ito Narsingha Param To Narsingha Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsingha Pahe Narsingha Hirda He Narsingha Pahe Narsingha Hirda He Narsingha Narasingha Madhin Sharanapapade Narasingha Madhin Sharanapapade Tavatara Kamalavare Naka Adutta Shringa Kalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhinga Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish जगदीश हरे
तव कर कमल वरनाकं अद्भुत सिंहां दलित हिरण्यकशिपु तनोद्रिङ्घां केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
केशवदीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव
जय नृसिंहदेव 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 जय नृसिंहदेव
जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय राधा रघुनाथ राधा रघुनाथ राज
जय राधा रघुनाथ राधा रघुनाथ राधे
जय राधा रघुनाथ राधा रघुनाथ राज
जय राधा रघुनाथ राधा रघुनाथ राधे
जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
जय गिरि गोवर्धन गिरि गोवर्धन गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन
जय गिरि गोवर्धन गिरि गोवर्धन गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन
जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय
जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय
जय प्रभुपदा 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 जय प्रभुपदा
जय प्रभुपदा 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 जय प्रभुपदा
जय जय प्रभुपा 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 जय जय प्रभुपा
जय जय प्रभुपा 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 जय प्रभुपा
जय जय प्रभुपा 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 जय जय प्रभुपा
जय जय प्रभुपा 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 जय प्रभुपा
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि
नित्य
बोल
गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
जय श्री श्री राधा रघुनाथ की जय श्री गिरिराज गौरवदान की जय श्री श्री निताय गौर हरि की जय जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय शिला गुरुदेव की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल।